Welcome back aboard BLERD Force 1 with your boys Mo and Ladi. And today we are reviewing The Boys Season 4 Episode 6. It's entitled Dirty Business. It's coming to you from Amazon Prime Video. So, what did we think about it? And should you be watching? And before we get into this review, get down there, hit like on this video. Ladi, Dirty Business is the name of this episode. And
accurately named.
I was going to say understatement of the year. We get to see the boys try to infiltrate a far right, they call it the Federalist Society. Let's just call it the Oligarchs Are Us gathering, where Homelander and Sage and the rest of the Supes are going to try to convince them to support a coup against the government. And specifically so they can install Victoria Newman as the actual president, and Supes can have all the power. And sounds like it'll be nice and fun with your, with the cream of the crop, the upper crust, shall we say, pieces of shit that need to be strung up because, like, eat the rich. Am I right? But yeah. All that's going on. They need an inside man. That's what they got Hughie for. And let's just say he gets a little more than he bargained for. Lots more shenanigans go on this episode. But Ladi, my friend, how did you feel about all of this dirty business?
I felt disgusted. I felt violated watching this episode. I watched this episode and said, what?
Did you watch it and think to yourself, he a fan, he a fan, he a fan.
Just
Tek-Knight's the worst. How can you be in a scene with Homelander and be worse? Be a legitimately 100% worse.
I just love I love the part. I'm sorry, I don't care. Spoiler alert. When they were torturing him, and they said, "All right, 100 million to Black Lives Matter." No.
We should.
That's the one that broke him.
I think. Look, the gist of this. Look, this episode's great. We get a lot, and I didn't mention it in the kind of the lead because I know most of this is about how Tek-Knight is like the worst Batman. He's Batman with superpowers, super senses or whatever, but also a ton of white privilege and white supremacy and just a piece of shit rich asshole that also happens to really like weird shit. And you know what? I ain't one to kink shame. You do what you do. To be perfectly honest, everything that went on down in that little bat cave or the TEK-CAVE, whatever the fuck he called it. Look, consenting adults, they do what they do, right? I'm not even gonna, it's weird, but whatever. That's
we know they were not consenting.
well, theoretically, Web Weaver was into it, but that's, you know what I'm saying? But there's a point at which, Tek-Knight's like, oh, I caught you and Homelander's gonna love me, but first I'm gonna fuck a hole in you. And he's literally just about to cut a hole. And I'm like, God, I could not believe that they went further than Hero-gasm. I thought Hero-gasm, they were gonna be like, you know what? We've done enough. We don't have to do anymore. But I should have known that Hero-gasm was just a warm-up. And this was...
Yep.
Okay, beyond the freaky ass shit going on, that was funny. It was funny, and Hughie felt violated. I get it. We're sympathetic. Beyond that, and there's more to what's going on in this episode. We were talking about Tek-Knight being a racist piece of crap, and he was throwing all this shade at A-Train. Talking about his granddaddy would have called him because his people were slave catchers, and they're also modern day slavers because they're involved in the prison industrial complex. And and here's the other fucked up thing. Did you notice that his butler is a old English black guy?
Yeah, I did.
And did it feel fucking weird to you when he said he was like my daddy, ain't that? He raised me. He was like my dad, ain't that right? And the guy said master to him.
Yes.
Did that make you fucking feel like reaching through the screen?
I knew immediately that this guy is only the guy this guy is only doing it because he has to. At any moment this guy's will is ready to just say F this weirdo. I knew it was coming. It's
Well,
just
and wasn't it fun? Isn't that the funny that's what happened? Like
yep.
when it came down, who turned on him? His quote sidekick, and someone said, "Oh, it's a guy in a red hood," and I was like, "That's good."
Wow.
That's pretty good. But they were like, "Oh, he loves being hurt, so we can't really torture him. How do we do it?" And you already mentioned how they did it. The sidekick rolls over. That's how much of a piece of shit Tek-Knight is. His two closest people, the guy in the red, gimp suit, and his butler who has to spray down his sex dungeon, right? Those two people turn on him immediately, and you're right, like you said, he would rather this motherfucker is so racist. He would rather Homelander laser him in the face than to give $100 million to Black Lives Matter. That's a special level of. You know how racist you have to be to prefer Homelander to helping black people? That's.
Yes.
I mean, even Firecracker would be like, "Nah, I'll you take all of it. I don't want a laser in the face."
Speaking of Firecracker,
Or we should call her. We should refer
Titty
to
Cracker.
her. Yeah, titty cracker. Oh, mother's milk. She's mother's milk, not our
Jesus,
mother's milk.
Jesus Christ. The simple fact that that rendered him absolutely useless.
You talk about. So speaking of that, that was actually an important part to me because Sage has felt secure because she knows that in order for Homelander to get what he wants, which is Supe's taking over the world, essentially starting with America, he needs her because he's an idiot. Can we agree? He's not completely stupid, but he's smart enough to know he's not smart enough to do this by himself, right?
Yeah.
Cool, he gets Sage, but when she unluckily is kind of brain damaged, dealing with mother's milk, he has to make the pitch to these people and is not ready at all. Completely inept. He thinks he can just punch his way through this, and these guys are like, "No, you want to do a coup?" And he's like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Well, what about this? What about oil? What about civil service? What about these people? What about that people? What are you going to do with this?" And they're listing like 10 things that indicate that they've been thinking about this a long time and trying to figure it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't know how to answer. And I'm like, is he going to laser these people? But he can't laser them because he needs them. And makes Victoria Newman step up. But that's so Sage kind of not being in the right place at the right time to do her thing fucks up her standing, and she doesn't know that. She's brain damaged at the moment. At the same time, Firecracker has got her titty in his mouth, literally.
Yes.
And her position is much stronger, and she doesn't know that. Sage, her problem is that she's really smart, but she doesn't know everything. And by that I mean she doesn't have enough information to know where she actually stands. Yeah, and it's going to get her head lasered off.
And that's her problem. Her plan all consists of hoping that a psychopathic, very unstable man baby doesn't attack her, and then the other one is a racist white one. Just remains stupid and has no way to get to Homelander, and then the other person is the dude bro of all dude bros that does anything Homelander says. Those are her only 3 allies. Her actual true ally is the one person she's trying you get in trouble, which is the only person that can get her out of this alive is A-Train. And
He has no incentive.
she, hmm?
He has no incentive to do it.
Well,
To help her.
A-Train doesn't have any incentive to do it, but A-Train is a good person now. He would
Is
do
he?
it.
I mean, he's
turned a new
working.
leaf.
He's working to it. I suppose so.
Listen. If Sage is intelligent, if Sage decided to be on A-Train's side, he will help. He will help her. But she doesn't see what A-Train sees.
Right.
A-Train knows all this is about to blow up. She doesn't see that. You know what I mean? Everyone sees that except her.
Well,
You know what I
I
mean?
think she thinks I think she thinks she can manage it. She's kind of gamed it out, but also there's a lot of grievance in her, and it's not that it's not it's not that it's not undeserved grievance. Like she's mad at the world for a good reason, because she's smart and can solve the problems, but no one wants to listen to her because she's a black woman. And she kind of illustrates that when talking to Newman about how to handle these people. Because you have to admit, in that party, the allowed number of non-white people, especially non-rich white people, because they went over that limit of having too many brown and black people and poors in that party. Which I think is funny, because Firecracker, theoretically, that should be where she should be at, right? It's an all white party, right? Except for a few people. She doesn't fit in any more than Sage or A-Train does. If in fact, maybe A-Train and Sage fit in better. So that's an interesting thing at that party. Victoria Newman, she basically has to be like, I'm gonna save the day, and Sage is looking stupid, and her stock is falling. She doesn't know it. A-Train is just kind of there trying to keep his shit together. Which, by the way, nice little hero turn for him. Accidentally, but yeah. Which it convinces me he's definitely dying this season. Am I wrong on that?
I hope not.
He's definitely dying. In the comics, he does die, but like the comics and him and the comics and him in the show, vastly different. So like, don't take the comics as the way. But I think the fact that it's like in Game of Thrones. Every time someone does something heroic, what happens to them? They immediately they pay for it immediately, and I think that's what's going to happen here. That's all of that stuff was cool. There's a little bit with Kimiko not being able to talk to Frenchie, but I honestly think they're they're not really moving that storyline forward very well. Annie confronts Firecracker. I mean, that was fine, I guess. Honestly, I think they've sort of underserved her character a little bit the last couple of episodes, but they're showing like, oh no, actually, this is who Annie really is. She's not like this fake Starlight. This is who she actually is. So that was cool. But Ladi, we got to talk about Butcher. I've been holding it back. We got to talk about him.
Yeah, man, you have a massive phone that you need to pick up. I mean, this is the Reuter phone, like the old phone that when you pick up, you hear the little thing go like what I mean? You got a phone that you need to pick up. Like, as soon as I saw that.
To be fair, I've been thinking it was possible, but when someone suggested it, I was like, it's possible. There's no indication either way yet, but there have been some hints. But Butcher having two voices in his head, so this is like Fight Club ×2, if you will. That literally a devil on his shoulder or an angel on his shoulder. Someone pointed that out too. They were like, Kessler's always on his left side, and Becca's on the right or something like that. And I was like, well, that's interesting. But yeah, we find out Kessler is just a figment of his imagination, and also somehow maybe related to whatever this parasite thing inside of him that killed Ezekiel. So he's trying to get Samir to make the virus, to make it better so that they can kill Homelander. We find out that Samir won't do it because in order to make it, powerful enough to kill Homelander, it would become airborne and kill every Supe. And so the question is, will Butcher do this thing that will kill thousands of Supes in order to get one guy? Or will he try to find a different way that won't involve that? Ladi, and also, Ladi, do you think he's going to turn into Venom, basically?
He's going to turn into Venom.
Yeah. I've heard people suggest that.
No. No. The parasite in him is pretty much Los Plagas. It looks like something from straight out of Resident Evil. You know what I mean? And it's V'd up too. Because he injected, not only is the parasite in him, he also V'd up the parasite too. So
yeah,
man, Butcher's into Butcher. He's not. I believe Butcher's not going to do it. I think he's not going because first of all, the kid. And I knew like if you're going to make a thing to kill Homelander was the first born Supe. He wasn't naturally born through pregnancy. Like I guess his mother was shot up with V, and the V went inside of the. 'Cause I know they took sperm from what's his name, Soldier Boy, and probably gave the baby inside of the stomach compound V. You know what I mean? So I think that maybe that's what happened. But I knew for them to kill Homelander is going to need to be a lot stronger, and I don't think he's going to make that decision
right.
because he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. Plus, we always know he's not going to do it because there's a whole nother season. But he might still get the virus. It hit him with it, sort of like a Demon Slayer type thing, and weaken him.
Well, remember also, Butcher's got. Remember, Butcher has compound V also, so it's he's dying from it, so he would die of it too. Just saying.
Well, but he knows that.
But
he knows that though.
It's definitely it's a good question. Like, will he do it? I wish he would say, like, to be perfectly honest, I'm on the kill them all and let God sort them out side. As much as I like Kamiko and I like Annie, okay, Homelander sucks and he's on the cusp of destroying the world as we know it. And y'all are worried about 3 people, and the rest of the Supes have more or less shown themselves to be shitty, right? So I'm not too bothered by that proposition, but maybe Butcher is. He literally, faltered at the finish line last season, so probably he'll do it again. We shall see. I'm not surprised that he's all fucked up in the head. I love that the whole Fight Club reveal was basically like hit one voice saying, "Bitch, shut the hell up! Tired of hearing your ass."
Yeah,
I'm like, man, you got how and Samir's looking at him like, "Whoo, this guy's gonna kill me. He's definitely gonna kill me."
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I thought it was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. It had a lot to think about. Bitch ass Tek-Knight though. So glad that motherfucker did.
Listen. Tek-Knight's bad, but we can't let what's her name off the hook too. She's just as weird too now.
Oh yeah. You talking about
using what's her name's leg
to my Ashley.
Oh
what a great
let
me tell you what a great performance. This Colby Menifee is the name of the actor that plays that role. I thought she was great. I've been thinking like, man, is she gonna get her face lasered? I don't know, but man, that was so fun. What a fun and disturbing scene.
Some like Instagram person met her recently, like I think it was in Paris or something, and they asked her to do a face and she did it. She's like pretending like something was like crashing on top of the Eiffel Tower. She made the face like the face that she always makes.
She's really good. really like her this season. So anyway, I think that's all of our thoughts on this episode. What did you guys think about it? What did you think about what we had to say? Get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, blerd_force1 on Instagram and on Threads, super_not_funny show on TikTok. And while you're doing that, do us a favor, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps to grow this channel, helps more people to see videos and reactions and podcasts, all that good stuff that we make. All right, thanks for joining us. Come back next week. We're going to review episode 7 of The Boys season 4. Until then, I've been Mo, your commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Ladi. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.